Changhua Tzu Chi volunteers in Taiwan visit the Xu family, whose house and pigsty were destroyed by a fire. We learn more about the 9th solar term Mangzhong, which is the busiest time of the year for farmers. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. We kick off the show in Taiwan's Changhua. The Xu family has been raising pigs for a living. However, recently an unfortunate fire accident not only burned down their pigsty but also destroyed their home. Upon learning of the news, Changhua Tzu Chi volunteers visited the family with consolation cash and to offer strength and hope for this family at their time of need.
Firefighters wasted no time to tackle the fire in the pigsty. However, as the fire grew too large to be contained, the entire pigsty was burned down to the ground. Although the Xu family who reside next door managed to escape unscathed, their home, however, went up in flames.
By the time we saw it and wanted to put it out, the fire had gotten so big. We couldn't do anything about it. I feel so heartbroken.
17 years ago, Mr. Xu and his family of 5 rented a piece of land in Tianwei, Changhua, where they raised pigs for a living. The family lived in a small house next to the pigsty, and Mr. Xu weaved wicker chairs to earn additional income.
We can't live here now, so we have to come up with a plan and see if we can't rebuild it.
Mr. and Mrs. Xu have 4 children, 2 of whom help with the family business, while the other 2 are still in schools. Tzu Chi volunteers soon arrived with condolence cash to help the family through this difficult time.
We brought our condolences and blessings. We hope their home can be restored soon so they may have a fresh start.
We have to make some repairs so we can live here again. The volunteers that came today brought us warmth.
Currently, the family are residing with relatives for the time being. Although the fire took away their home, it did not take away their hope, as they face the days ahead with courage.
Safeguarding the health of the poor and disadvantaged is the ongoing mission of the Tzu Chi International Medical Association. In the United States, California, Tzu Chi volunteers from the Orange County Liaison Office, along with team members, set up their second free clinic of 2014 inside the Santa Ana High School's gymnasium. The patients receiving treatment this time were mainly family members of students in the Happy Campus program. And amidst the blue and white-clad volunteers, many local residents were there to help out as well. Let's take a look.
After the doctor finishes his sentence in English, a volunteer translates it into Spanish. This time around, the U.S. TIMA International Medical Association is holding its free clinic at the Santa Ana High School. Many local residents come forth to lend a hand to relieve some of the burden carried by the medical volunteers.
Although our facilities aren't perfect, and sometimes the patients have to wait a long time, but we hope they will take into consideration that no matter what program it is, nothing is perfect.
This event today is an extension of our Happy Campus program, a program we have run for the past 4 years at the Santa Ana Unified School District.
Safeguarding the health of those in need, the free clinic was held for the family members of the students of the Happy Campus program, mostly Mexican immigrants without medical or social benefits.
It's because these wonderful people love to give back what they have. And we appreciate their compassion. We appreciate their support for the Santa Ana families and community. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Porque somos una familia.
A total of 168 patients received the loving care of TIMA members, and all look forward to the next time they meet again.
Over the years, Vietnam's Tzu Chi volunteers have continued to care for impoverished families in Ho Chi Minh City's District 9 by means of relief aid and tuition support. On June 1st, a scholarship distribution was held, which helped a total of 16 college students to continue their education. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers in China's Guangdong province also distributed a scholarship to some 300 students of 4 schools in Heping County. Touched by Tzu Chi volunteers' selfless dedication and to pay the love forward, despite living in poverty, many students happily donated their love to help those in greater need.
Unappreciative of his father's love, when all is gone, what remains is regret. Striking a chord with the audience, the play leaves many in tears.
3 minutes into the play, tears began to well up in my eyes. I couldn't watch any further because I couldn't stop crying.
When trees want peace, why won't the wind cease? When we look back, where have our parents gone? We should treat our parents and family well and live with no regrets.
At Fuhe Senior High School in Heping County, Tzu Chi volunteers are here to distribute scholarships and also to pass on the message of filial piety to students. Upon receiving their scholarship, Heping Middle School students reciprocate Tzu Chi's kindness by donating the savings from their bamboo coin banks.
I think it's because we received your help, so we were inspired to do the same. We hope the money we saved is able to help those in greater need.
I never thought of helping others before. I never kept a coin bank and never knew that it could help the poor. Now I would deposit all of my love into this coin bank to help more people.
Despite the hardships and challenges thrown their way, these students have triumphed through adversity. With the help of volunteers, they hope to help better the lives of other impoverished families. A Tzu Chi scholarship distribution is taking place at the Women's League. Today, 16 college students' dreams have been realized.
If you don't study hard, the Tzu Chi uncles and aunties will be very sad because everyone is working hard to make it possible for you to continue your studies.
And for the first time this year, the scope of the scholarship has been extended to include high school and college students, with the amount increased to 2 million Vietnamese dong for each academic year.
I'm happy to receive Tzu Chi scholarship aid. I promise to work hard.
I will work hard in my studies and join Tzu Chi volunteers to help the suffering.
Apart from aiding with tuition, Tzu Chi volunteers also provide monthly support for the students' families.
We are most grateful to Tzu Chi for helping our children and giving them a chance to go to school.
Tzu Chi volunteers promise to continue to help these students realize their dreams in the days to come.
Moving back to Taiwan, prior to their graduation ceremony, students at Tzu Chi College of Technology visited Hualien Jing's abode to experience Tzu Chi's humanity. There, the students seized the opportunity to express their thanks to teachers and either parents, while Dharma masters at the abode also extended their warmest blessings to the students.
Getting down on their knees, this year's graduates of Tzu Chi College of Technology pay their respects to either parents. Away from homes to pursue an education in Hualien, these youngsters were once anxious in the new environment. Thankfully, either parents have always been around to look after their daily needs and offer them spiritual support.
During my sophomore year, my grades were in trouble and I even considered dropping out. Thankfully, Dharma masters, teachers, and Ida parents were around to encourage me and help me through difficult times.
As these students begin a new chapter of their lives, Dharma masters bestow them large-right ornaments, hoping to give them strength when they face difficulties.
We need to continue to learn and change for the better. Through different stages in life, we have to make sure that we reach our full potential.
Dharma masters remind these students that Master Zheng Yan expects them to be a positive influence in society. At the same time, they are reassured that the Tzu Chi family will always be there for them.
Besides learning to control their emotions in school, students also need to learn how to deal with bullies. A survey by the Child Welfare League Foundation shows that in Taiwan, 2 out of 10 students in junior high and under have been bullied before. We now see how teachers are helping their students learn to deal with this hatred and practice forgiveness.
Embracing her son's killer. When Mrs. Yo chose forgiveness, at the moment she felt as if her son had returned.
Man, you chose to forgive the killer. But what if he cannot forgive himself? What will you do then?
I will tell him the past is in the past.
Now Mrs. Yo promotes anti-bullying in schools.
After I went home, I felt better. This is why I am still healthy and happy today.
Mrs. Yo hopes that other parents will not suffer her fate.
When you act rashly, not only do you cause your own suffering, you are making others suffer too.
Ma'am, how did you finally come to terms with it and decide to forgive your son's killer?
High school sophomore Shen Wei-hen is also learning to forgive. His father passed away when he was 2. At 5, his mother took him back to China for a visit, but ended up marrying a local. He was abandoned and flew back to Taiwan by himself.
At first, I had a hard time trying to forgive her. Then I tried to put myself in her shoes. I think as a mother, she tried to look out for me. So she sent me back to Taiwan.
Only by letting go of hatred can one find inner peace and harmony. However, it is easier said than done. Thus, Lin Wenkui, who is in charge of the school's anti-bullying program, relies on any tool that works.
In life, we often say things we don't really mean, perhaps because we are angry or we simply lose it. So if we are at fault, then what do we do?
Mr. Lin has 7-hour lessons that help his students understand hatred and forgiveness.
From the bully's perspective, perhaps he had some kind of traumatic experience in the past, so he has decided to act out his anger. By thinking like this, you can deal with it in a more optimistic manner and prevent the problem from exacerbating.
Through understanding, students learn to forgive each other. To repent, bullies write letters of apology to those they hurt. According to surveys conducted by the Child Welfare League Foundation, verbal abuse and social alienation are far more serious than physical abuse, and 10% of students 8th grade and under are being bullied every day.
When students are bullied, they get very angry, but at the same time they are afraid to tell, so they draw angry faces.
Children need to learn about bullying early on.
用脚踢他，这是不是肢体霸凌？好，还有吗？语言霸凌，他用说话。
So what should children do if they are being bullied?
First, you must say no. Say, no, stop, because I don't like it.
And these young minds have some creative ideas.
We don't like violence, we don't like to fight. So what must we do? Come around, right? I was quite surprised that they understood the concept of come around and empathy. To hear them use those words makes me very happy because it shows they have absorbed the lesson. We teach things and aphorisms to help children understand life's wisdom.
To tackle bullying at its root takes more than just raising the public's awareness of the issue, but also lies in education on proper character and ethics.
In today's report on the 24th solar terms, we introduced the 9th solar term, Mangzhong. By this time in Taiwan, early season rice is ready to be harvested, while seedlings for the next season will also have to be planted. So it is a very busy time for farmers. And as the temperature continues to climb, we also have some health tips from Chinese medicine doctors on how to beat the muggy heat ahead.
The lotus is known as the gentleman among flowers. As the plant blooms between June and August, the presence of lotus flowers means that summer is near. The 9th solar term Mangzhong marks the beginning of summer in Taiwan. In the south, early season rice is ripe and ready to be harvested.
在这个节气里面，我们很多稻米都已经
By the solar term, the rice stalks are already full of grains ready to be harvested. Also, farmers have to get ready to plant seedlings for the next season.
台湾俗语安尼讲吼，4月芒种雨，
A Taiwanese proverb says if it rains around this time, then it will continue to rain for the next month. In the month that follows, we will have to cope with drought and high temperatures. So we use the weather pattern around Mangzhong for future reference.
It can rain a little bit during this time, which is fine, but it shouldn't pour as the rice harvest will be affected. If it rains too much, the rice grains will begin to germinate, especially those that have been knocked down by the rain.
Rice stalks that have fallen down because of excess rain cannot be harvested, so experienced farmers know that the weather around this time can affect their harvest for the year. Though summer may be near, monsoon season has not ended, and citizens should still be prepared for torrential rains.
As weather fronts carrying precipitation continue to move southwards, torrential rains can occur anywhere in Taiwan. Areas like central and southern Taiwan, which haven't seen rain for a while, need to be especially careful because if it pours suddenly, low-lying areas could flood easily.
The most important festival associated with Mangzhong is Dragon Boat Festival. Traditionally, people will eat sticky rice dumplings and race dragon boats.
Another proverb says if you haven't eaten May's sticky rice dumplings, don't put away your winter clothes and blankets, because summer only truly arrives after Duanwu.
Only after the Duanwu festival will the weather begin to stabilize and heat up. Due to the excess moisture and high temperatures, our body may become too wet and will feel tired easily. To discharge excess moisture, Chinese medicine recommends a herbal drink composed of tangerine peels, sweet sagewort, licorice, magnolia bark, and poria. Though it is also the harvest season for delicious fruits like pineapple, watermelon, mango, and lychee, doctors warn people to control their portions.
Excess moisture in our body will affect our spleen and stomach. Things that are too sweet will make us feel full easily. So if your digestive system is already in trouble, you will have trouble processing sweet foods.
Doctors say it is best to sleep early and rise early during this time, so you will have time to exercise in the morning to sweat off the excess liquid in your body, which will keep you healthy when summer arrives.
According to the statistic, over 2 million people in Taiwan are seniors 65 years or older. To accommodate the aging population's needs, Taiwan's Ministry of Health and Welfare has partnered with the Tzu Chi Foundation to get the seniors out of their house and pass on their lifetime of experience to young generation. Here's more.
78-year-old Grandma Chen insists on hand-washing every piece of donated secondhand clothing, while her 88-year-old husband is her right-hand man.
The more I do, the healthier I become. I've been doing this for some 20 years.
My wife enjoys this, so I keep her company. Now we both enjoy this very much. The more we do it, the happier we are.
Recently, the Taiwan's Ministry of Health and Welfare joined hands with the Tzu Chi Foundation to get seniors out of the house, where they have a chance to give back to society and gain self-confidence.
We want to encourage the elderly to leave their house and enter society. This way we can put into practice our active aging policy and ideals.
Though people will grow old, they don't have to just sit at home and be dependent on their children. Instead, they can opt to continue to make their life useful.
In Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Liqing has been promoting recycling in her community in New Taipei City, Xizhi District. Every Wednesday evening, under Zhang's leadership, community members gather at an underground parking lot to sort recyclables together. Many say they have not only learned conservation concepts in the process, but also formed better relationships with their neighbors as well.
This basement is not only a parking lot but also a recycling point. Every Wednesday in New Taipei City's Xizhi District, residents of one community come together to sort recyclables. The event was started by Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Liqing, who is also a member of this community. With the permission of the community association, Zhang went door to door to invite her neighbors to attend Tzu Chi's tea gatherings and learn more about recycling.
If everyone can start taking recycling seriously and recycle reusable materials, this will not only benefit our planet, but our next generation as well. Through such regular recycling, we can also reduce the burden on our community, since how much we spend on waste treatment will be reduced as well.
Through the recycling event, residents come to realize the importance of environmental sustainability as well as its other benefits.
Doing recycling makes our community cleaner. Recycled materials can be reused to make new items.
It's different when everybody comes together to do recycling. Working together, we feel immense joy and become more united.
The recycling activity is like a community social event through which participants not only gain a better understanding of environmental protection, but also create better relationships with their neighbors.
In Munich, Germany, Tzu Chi volunteers held a Buddha Day ceremony at a local hotel to honor the Buddha. Despite the differences in faith and faith, the solemnity at the event deeply touched the hearts of all those in attendance. But first, we go to Sri Lanka, where Tzu Chi volunteers organized a similar event at the Tzu Chi Colombo office. This is the scene at the Tzu Chi Colombo office. Today, Tzu Chi volunteers, care recipients, and their family members have gathered together to pay their respects to the Buddha. The master of today's ceremony is Tzu Chi volunteer Kumara, who moved from his hometown to Colombo to better carry out Tzu Chi's missions. Prior to the beginning of the ceremony, volunteers explained to participants the steps to honoring the Buddha. Under the guidance of volunteers, this blind senior also has the chance to experience the event. By bowing to the Buddha's feet and receiving the fragrant flowers, participants find peace within themselves. Meanwhile, in Munich, Germany, local Tzu Chi volunteers organized their Buddha Day ceremony at a hotel. Among the participants was Zhong Jialong, who, despite just returning to Germany from a business trip, was in attendance.
I think it is very rare and amazing to have such an event here in Germany.
Although the Vietnamese Buddhist Society in Germany had already held its Buddha Day ceremony, members of the association still gathered to attend Tzu Chi's ceremony. Regardless of the differences in ethnicity or religion, the solemnity of Tzu Chi's Buddha Day ceremony is helping members of the public gain a better understanding of Tzu Chi and the values it stands for. To spread Tzu Chi far and wide, South Africa's Tzu Chi volunteers have been traveling to Swaziland on a monthly basis to organize home visitations and tea gatherings. Despite the long traveling distance, these volunteers are determined to continue their mission. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.